Now we have to revisit our favorite topic here. A question from Ball Go Boom. Are you at all worried about Martone pulling a Cutter? I can't help but feel the same type of worry over it. And this just gets back to we will forever be scarred.
Yeah.
There's nothing I think we can say here um, that will put people at ease 100%, but we can point to I think they've learned their lesson. I think this was not a contentious decision the way perhaps the Cutter one was. And he liked the team growing up, which counts for something, I guess.
You would hope. Look, I'm not going to tell you not to have feelings because that's part of being a fan.
Yeah.
And y'all got burned by Cutter Gauthier.
It happened.
I get it.
It happened.
But the hard truth of it is, like, you can't be scared to draft college kids. You can't be terrified every time a kid that's a high pick of the Flyers goes to college. At some point, we're all going to need to get over this. Like, it's just like, because if you are purposely avoiding taking college players high in the draft because of what happened with Cutter Gauthier, your rebuild isn't going to work because you're cutting yourself off from such a big part of the scene. And look, the concept here would have been like, well, just put him in the NHL. Like, that would have been all well and good until he struggles in the NHL. And then the same people who are like, how could you let him go to college, are then screaming and yelling, how could you throw him in the NHL when he clearly wasn't ready?
All right, here's my question about this then. We've talked about the college versus CHL route. Like, this benefits Porter Martone because he gets a bump in competition. We've talked about just the college schedule where, a player needs to get bigger, stronger, faster, which all 18-year-olds do in order to be their best selves down the line in the NHL. Well, the college schedule is you've got 2 games on the weekend and you've got the whole week to practice and work out. That's really good for like getting bigger, stronger, and faster. Do you think the NHL, if you struggle, is maybe holding a player back from developing? If he's given the time every night, but he's not doing well in it, do you think that hurts his development?
Look, it's tough to say.
Yeah,
I could see a world where it would hurt, like by rushing a guy to the NHL. That said, there's also worlds where guys struggle to start their NHL career and then take advantage of that early experience and eventually do develop into great players. So I hate these hypothetical questions about development because the hard truth of it is none of us know. None of us know what the right thing for a guy's development is. None of us know because there's no silver bullet. There's no one way that's the best for a guy's development. I do believe that in this case, I don't know what else he would have learned at the OHL level. Now, whether him being maybe not quite ready for the NHL, but still trying to keep his head above water, whether that's better or worse than excelling in the NCAA, it could be, but I don't think there is a clear-cut yes or no answer. Who knows? We're never going to know because we don't have a time machine. Maybe, maybe not.
That's everyone's development path is different. There's no way to know for sure. Like, Charlie, you're not allowed to, we're not able as of now to visit these alternate universes and see all the possible outcomes. So there's just the path a player takes. And when they make it, you go, it was right. And when they don't, you go, oh, they should have done something else. And it will or won't be true for the next guy. There's just no way to know. All right, from Adam Plenamento, I guess. This is, again, do you think he had an idea he wasn't making the team out of the camp? And is it still possible to make the team after committing? Love the show. Thank you, Adam. Appreciate it. Doesn't seem like it. Doesn't seem like there's other options. Now he's not going to be at camp, and he will be spending the season with Michigan State. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, the only potential caveat there is if and when his season ends.
Yes.
If it's before the Flyers season ends, the Flyers could sign him to an entry-level contract at the end of the year and get him in games. Now, if Michigan State goes all the way to the national championship game, it could be 1 or 2 games. If they don't make the tournament at all, it could be 7 or 8. Like, it just comes down to how their season goes. They're going to most likely be a top-tier team. They usually are. So it's probably going to last quite a while at the very least. last into the tournament itself. Now, whether they go far in the tournament, I guess it just comes down to whether they get the job done when it counts. But Michigan State will go into the season expected to be an NCAA tournament team, and then we'll see where they go from there. They certainly have the talent.
Well, Charlie, I think you're discounting the possibility of the Flyers making the playoffs and adding sixth overall pick Porter Martone to the lineup.
It's possible.
As they do it. It's a possibility.
It's possible.
We have seen it. It happened.
It has happened before.
Yeah, Cale Makar stepped off of the NCAA ice right into the Stanley Cup playoffs. Zeev made the jump last year, so it's a thing that happens. All right, from Adam Shaw, lineup question for Charlie because they're his fave. Do we see Cates get a look at left wing in the top 6 this year with Martone going NCAA and Forster may be hurt? Cates is much more of a known quantity than Bump. Only other option I see is Dvorak, but what would be the point? I think there's going to be a lot of juggling.
Yeah, I agree.
I think we have our ideal lineup thing and we have to re-record it because it's like, well, guess what? Porter Martone ain't going to be in it. So there's no point in releasing this after the information came out. But we have that lineup. Maybe one of our ideal lineups is what they have on opening night when, we see on pregame the way they order the lines, and it could be different within 15 minutes. But I definitely see a world where Cates gets some time on the wing this year.
Yeah, I think the Flyers have left that door open. They've noted that Noah Cates has the flexibility that he can move over to wing. They know he can play well there. They also know he can play well at center, as he did all of last year, and center is the more valuable position. So my inclination would be to keep Cates at center. But hey, if Jet Luchenko has a really good camp, you're going to have to move one of those centers over to wing. With Cates, he can do it. He's done it before on this very team. Dvorak is also an option, as Andrew mentions. That said, Dvorak was signed with something of a handshake promise of you're going to get a look at center. So maybe that's not something they would do right away. Maybe Cates would be the first guy they move over to wing to accommodate Jet Luchenko if he makes the team. But I agree with you, Bill. They're going to be juggling lines. I'm sure Cates will get some time on the wing. But going back to Andrew's point about Bump, I think there is very much a world where Alex Bump is in the top 6 at wing to start the year because he has a really good camp and they want to put him with talented players. I very much think that's on the table.
Yeah, and just we know what Rick Tocchet wants to do probably, and one of the things that impressed us about Alex Bump, I know for me in the NCAA tournament, was this is a straight line player who is going to help this team on the forecheck. The little things in his game, the board battles, the physical maturity. This kind of seems like the kind of dude they need if they are going to make the transition from a one and done rush chance team to a team that establishes a little bit more on the forecheck. I think he could definitely be in there as well.